expecting to see some fireworks here between these two. We are underway once again.
Big right hand almost finds its mark straight out the beer crawl.
Way to not let that intimidate him.
Hey, intimidated me. Already it feels like Glen Norman's got his feet underneath him a little better than the last time we saw him.
It's a great point, Matt. He was really off balance. Really the first 2 times we saw him.
Yeah, and that's part of the, modifying the Taekwondo background for MMA. You've got to kind of figure out how to make it work in a way that you don't lose your balance.
Nice little jab followed by a level change. Just a little bit of space, too much space between the 2 attacks, and Glen Norman able to circle it off, down block, keep himself upright.
Some good feints from Norman.
Yeah.
And Titus Young just looking calm and measured in there.
Nice right hand comes close.
Really taking some time to feel each other out.
And Norman a little impatient there as he entered.
Wiped his eye, and Titus Young stepped in.
Protect yourself at all times.
And it almost played out again like it did the last time, like my dog. You fight until the ref stops it.
Might have been a low kick or low knee there or something.
For
but
young fighters out there, if you get poked in the eye, just always think it was a punch, no matter what. Until the ref comes in and stops it, just always, it was a punch. Because, I mean, what a shame it would be to see a TKO to an eye poke. Ridiculous.
.60 seconds remaining in this first round.
Big right hand from Glen Norman.
Norman letting that right hand fire. He's done a good job staying out of range to this point as well.
Feint from Titus Young.
I'm seeing a lot of good feints from him. I'm waiting for him to step in with something off of it.
Solid jab. Inside low kick.
A lot of switching coming from Titus Young.
Big right leg finds its mark. Titus Young answers with a flurry. I like Glen Norman's stance. I like how low he is right there. Tyson feinted. Glen popped up for just a second, and then Titus Young changes levels, finds the takedown.
Good read, looking to wrap the legs up, but not enough time to do a whole lot with that.
High IQ maneuver to score a takedown right there as the round ends.
Yeah.
Pretty close exchanges there. Good stuff from Titus Young.
Yeah, with the round where not a whole lot happened, that could end up turning the tide in your favor. I would like to see Norman set his kicks up a little bit better. He's got good kicks, but he throws them a lot with nothing, no punches to set them up. And people are able to read that a little bit better.
Kind of scored a nice little right hand out there, but yeah, looks for the low blow. I mean,
I think that was a knee that got him in the abdomen. Maybe the foot grazed something.
Yeah, you may be right.
Nice little side kick from Titus Young.
And that 30 seconds was really the most eventful, time of that entire round until the takedown at the end. Pretty close fight there in round number 1.
Well matched. Glen Norman just needs to get his head in the game a little bit. He's had some good moments.
Ooh.
Right hand loops around. Titus Young with another level change, a little extended. Looks like he's got his hands together. Might see
Be surprised if he didn't get this one.
I think Titus has realized he may have an advantage in the grappling department. Savvy of him to come out and score the takedown early in this round rather than waiting until the round's expiring.
Over 2.5 minutes to work here. Norman's grabbed onto that guillotine.
Norman needs to let go of the head and try to dig an underhook here. I just don't think
it's very
he's in a
unlikely
position.
that he's going to get that. And with your back against the cage, that was the time to look to build up. And
He's
now
got to be careful, too.
Yeah.
If Titus Young passes his guard, he's got a Von Flue choke. He misses it. Just keeps his
but now
position.
Titus Young in north-south position, a lot more difficult to get out of this side control. North-south kind of maneuvering in between the two.
Solid control here from Titus Young.
He must have sensed something at the end of round one. And you're absolutely right. He sensed an advantage here, and he's capitalizing on it now in round two.
Beautiful work here to advance in the mount.
Titus doing a good job of keeping pressure on his face as he's passing, retaining position. I would like to see him.
And he's doing a good job. He's not giving Norman a lot of room to move, to get out of this position. Got the grapevine of the legs.
Being patient here too. Let Norman bounce around underneath you as you have good control and tire yourself out a little bit. We got a minute left here. I would eventually like to see Titus Young posture up and maybe score a strike that is significant from this position.
Absolutely. Maybe soften him up to the body a little bit before and then look for those big shots to the head.
And I know, Victoria, too, there are many fighters who prefer not to strike from mount. They would prefer a half guard. That way they have some point of reference and they don't just posture up and lose the guy underneath them. So sometimes, mount a dominant position, but it does take some understanding to posture and strike effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things that you gotta hit and then control. And now we're out of that position just as quickly as we started to dissect things. I like those heels to the thigh there.
Glen Norman in a position to deliver a strike, and this
nice.
is good.
And way to win the round back here if he lands some big strikes to kind of punctuate things.
This is good work.
Nice.
And to be honest, even though Titus Young held him down, had some good moments, if we're scoring based off of damage done.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, if you only control and you don't deliver any of those strikes, you kind of, there's a risk there.
And going back to what I said when he had mount, imagine he postures up there and scores a couple of strikes of his own. We're not having this conversation. He's got those in the bag. Even though Norman's able to reverse the position and score some big punches, we're still kind of thinking, hey, Titus Young had him mounted, had him punched up. So that's just something to think about.
I felt like the football equivalent of like you're going in for a touchdown and you turn it over. That's really what that moment felt like right there, where Titus had a chance to take over this round, win the round convincingly, and in the end he turns it over and possibly gave the round away there.
You gotta hand it to Glen Norman. He really, maintained his composure. A lot of guys, they get mounted and they panic, but he, waited for his moment, got out of that position, and was able to land some big strikes that really, put the round more in his favor.
We could easily be 1-1 here.
I feel like we probably more than likely are 1-1 here, so this third round could decide a winner. Always a question with these bigger bodies too, who has more left in the tank.
Ooh. Some nice strikes landed from Norman.
Titus Young.
Oh my.
This might be over.
It might be. Titus is really looking hard for that leg, but he has eaten a lot for his efforts.
Yeah, he is just giving those shots up for free. Norman's starting to pour it on.
Norman's really taking some momentum here. Strange position.
The old reverse wheelbarrow.
Oh, Lord.
And Titus is trying to get into some kind of position where he can maneuver.
Titus needs to be fighting with a little more urgency here. He's really
just laying here taking it. You got to advance somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how clear his head is.
It's fine.
And that is it.
A finish in round 3 for Stormin' Norman.
Yeah, and a couple of really close rounds. He definitely needed that. He stepped in with some hard strikes, and that everything that pulled the momentum in his favor.
Here's another look at the shot that got this sequence
Yeah,
going.
I'd like to see that again.
It didn't look like a big punch, but it must have landed flush. Let's see. That jab caught him.
Yeah, it was only the jab that landed.
It felt to me that Titus Young landed a nice square jab, kind of got the better of that exchange, but strange. Good on Glen Norman, capitalizing, finding the position, finding the finish. It was a close fight up until that point.
There's Glen Norman, he's fired up. You know Dynamite always wants to dance. Glen Norman will break it down out there as well. And here in a moment, he'll be breaking it down with Victoria after he's announced as our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee has called a stoppage to the action at 1 minute 13 seconds in the third and final round. Declare your winner, Glen Norman Jr.
Glen Norman, I'm so happy to be in here interviewing you again. You put on a heck of a performance. You faced some adversity in round 2, but you were able to get out of that mount and land some big strikes on the ground. Were you just feeling something at the end of your punches? What was going through your mind?
I worked hard for this moment. You know, hit training camp 6 weeks, every single day. But first and foremost, before I say anything else, I want to say all glory goes to God, man. He gave me the strength that I needed to make it here today. I love Titus. He's a good friend of mine, and it was a great battle. But at the end of my punches, all I was thinking was, I just gotta finish, I gotta finish, I gotta finish. And that's all the thing I was thinking.
Well, we could definitely tell that you could see some of those big strikes up there on the big screen. He was eating a lot of those, looking for, a heel hook or attacking your feet. What was going through your mind there?
Well, I knew his level in jiu-jitsu was pretty good. So I definitely wanted to make sure I keep my foot away. When I felt he was grabbing it, I hurried and snatched it away because I felt it coming. And I just kept on pounding, hoping that he would get tired enough not to reach for it again. So that was my goal.
Well, you put on a great performance. How soon would you like to get to the AK cage again?
And whenever my coach tells me, he knows best.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited to see you again. We look forward to seeing you one more time or 5 more times. Congratulations. Everyone give it up for your winner, Glen Norman Jr.
So Glen Norman picks up his second victory. He's now got 1 kickboxing win and 1 official MMA victory. Glen Norman with the finish in the 3rd round.